Hello, everybody. My name is Cindy, and I am an energetic stepping and wholeness counselor. I work together with my spirit team, Karla, on our mental health, and I also work together with female celebrities from the time period 1930s, 1960s, such as Marilyn Monroe, Ava Gardner, Elizabeth Taylor, Judy Garland, and they are here to share their own life experiences. And besides doing my work with spirit, I also work with sound. Sacred crystal sound is one of my methods that I use, and I do this in person, but now also on distance, which means that we are no longer needed to be in the same room. I can treat you when you're either traveling or visiting family or anywhere when you even do not live close into my area or country. And based on this sound treatment, last week I did a video with Patrick Moulin, and we spoke about a new method that is called sacred auto-tuning. And today I'm joined by Karla Mejia, who is a practitioner of this method, and she will talk more about this method and how she works with this with her clients. Hi, Karla. How are you today?
Oh, hi, Cindy. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being on my my channel.
Thank you.
Would you mind to introduce yourself? Like, what is your background and how did you come up with this method?
Okay. I have a background in marketing, but now I am working as a psychotherapist for a few years now. But I can say that I specialize more into the energetic psychology. I have a degree in transpersonal psychology. I also do EMDR, and I also do another method that called AIT, that is Advanced Integrative Therapy. I work a lot with trauma, also with mental disorders, eating disorders, anxiety, mental illness, trauma in a way is my specialty, if I can say that. But also I do a lot of energetic work with Reiki. I did Reiki for years. I have the Reiki master. Also, I study traditional medicine, and for a while I practice that. So for me, it's familiar to work with energy in a way. AIT works a lot with using your energetic chakras. So the trauma is working in the energetic level, in the physical level, in the mental level, in the spiritual level sometimes, because the trauma also can be in the spiritual realms. So it's familiar for me to do the work with energetics. And I was having a consultation with Patrick, and he did already an SAT session with me. And after we were sitting, all the download about SAT came, and the invitation to do the method. And of course I say yes. And since January, I think, I've been working and practicing with a few of my clients that they are so open. So I want to say this public uh, thank you to them to allow me to practice with them. And it has been an amazing experience. Experiencing by myself SAT with Patrick, but also practicing with people, for me, is another tool in my practice that is really amazing. I am happy to work with SAT, and I feel that is so complementary in my work and flows very natural in my practice. So this is a bit what I'm doing, and I don't know what else would you like to know about SAT.
How did it feel for you when you received the SAT from Patrick?
Because I had the experience with the method, I feel that was really powerful. And my experience was to feel so grounded that in the second time that I have my session with him, I really could feel how my feet were connected to the middle of Mother Earth. It was so special experience because I could feel heat, ice, water. It was amazing. And I never in my life experienced so much belonging and grounding as that experience and after that experience. But also there is this connection from above that you feel like a whole. And I could feel more in attunement, like, I don't know, like more in a flow in my life, like, yes, like this easy flow that I never experienced before. And also after the session, I have the experience to unblock things that wasn't allow me to be in that flow, but came so clearly to me where is the blockage and what was the blockage. And I have the opportunity to work with some friends and with some AIT treatment to integrate that, because it was a traumatic experience that I haven't forgot for years. And it was amazing, the flow that I could feel after, but the clarity that came to me with the block and the trauma, that I was fascinated, but I never thought that that will be able to me. For me, that was just a session with Patrick. And then I received the invitation to practice and says, let's see what happened also with my clients, because I can generalize that my experience is going to be the experience of my clients.
Mm-mm.
But what I am noticing is that, first of all, the grounding experience in every single of my clients, it's like the first thing that happened is the grounding. And they can feel really like they are, like they have truth, and they can feel it and they express it in that way, that never feel so secure and connected with Mother Earth. But also what they experience, I call it the bliss state after the tuning. It's like you are in a higher realms, experience so much bliss that you don't really want to come out to the bliss experience. And the beauty is like the person is not just waiting, it's already the person who is doing the tuning or the attunement process. And the surprising thing for them is like the sounds come really very natural in most of the cases. And sometimes the sound is not coming is because there is so much block or a trauma there, but they feel like the energy tries to move and the sound trying to come out, but they can do the sound, but there is no pressure. It's like, I can do it, then we can go to the next energetic point, and goes easily, and maybe the sound is coming out. So it's friendly, it's powerful, it's very beautiful when you are having the experience. And the next days or weeks, what you are experiencing is also very, very interesting. What happened. So the attunement is not happening just in that moment. So the attunement takes time. And I can talk about time because for every person is a completely different experience, but also every session is a completely different experience. You don't know what is going to happen in every session. And that also is beautiful. And the person doesn't need to remember the sound. They do. Because it's in the here and it's in the now. So this is going to flow, and your center knows the sound that needs at that moment. So your mind doesn't need to worry about what to do, because it comes out naturally. And I can explain how it happened, but happens. And it's really, really beautiful experience to have in yourself, but also to give to others. But my experience is like, while the person is having the attunement in themselves, an attunement is happening also in me. That is not the what you're looking for, but comes with the territory in a way. While you are doing that, you can feel the attunement and the waves. At least this is my experience. The waves when they are attuning, and I could feel the vibration of their own attunement, but also I could feel that my system is doing also an attunement. And it's really beautiful to have both experience. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. This has happened to me while I am doing SAT. And I feel it's a great, great tool for me in my practice. Really, it's an amazing gift that I received, because helped me a lot. It's like an improving my work in a way. So it's really beautiful to have the experience in this way.
So you mentioned that sometimes it will take a few days, after the tuning to have an effect. Can you explain? Is it possible for you to explain why it takes a few days, or what is it that the tuning can only be felt after a certain time?
This is a guessing. It will be lovely to do studies about it, and I am open. And if somebody else wants to do it with me, I am open to do it. What I understand about the trauma and the blockage is that happen in all your bodies: physical, mental, energetics, what I talk about. And we are in a different pace. And also it will depend on the traumatic experience that you have, or the block that you have, that will take more time or less time to your system to integrate. And for me are layers. It's like an onion. So maybe hits the first layer, and then the second layer is another layer. It will depend on the system, on the person. But also I want to mention that we have a beautiful and amazing system that take care of us. That is the ego and the center. They are our helpers in a way. So they are taking care of us. They are not going to allow to come out information from our unconscious if we are not ready. And for me, this is important to talk about. We have this system that protects us.
Yeah.
So what is emerging is because we are ready to be with that, to deal with that. We are not going to receive something that we are not ready, because our inner system has this ability to protect us. And this system is so wise to know what is right for us to have now and what not yet. So I think that the system, what we call the SPIA, is really doing the work to peel all these layers to the point that you are ready. Not more, not less. It's like the right doses to receive. And some take more time, some of them take less time. But also my idea is that during, while you are doing the attunement, some things are integrating without knowing. You don't need to know what you are integrating, because you are ready and it's okay. So you don't need to know that much. But some of them, you need to take care of that. And that is coming out in days or weeks. It will depend on the person and on the situation that is coming out. So we don't really know what is going to happen or what is coming out. What you need to know as a therapist, that you need to be aware that something is going to move. And you need to be wise enough to see, I can help them with another of my techniques, or I can refer this person and we can do a cooperation with another therapist so can help with this, because we don't know. In my case, because I am a psychotherapist, in a way I can deal with so many things that coming out, but some of you are not psychotherapists. So in some cases, maybe you're going to need to associate with another person to help you with some issues, or maybe you can deal with that with another techniques. So for me, it's like the invitation to be aware and to be humble, to see where is my district and where I need help. And nothing happened. It's beautiful to have more people doing this. And for me, by the way, it's amazing if you can combine SAT with sound crystal healing. Why? Why I've been experienced during my sessions with crystals, I feel so relaxed. I could feel how my central nervous system is completely relaxed. And when you get to that point, it's more easier to your system to rewire, to create new connections maybe, or stop some connections that they are not healthy. So if you are having SAT that is really doing this attunement and move a lot of things in your system, then you can have a session with crystals and you can allow to your body to relax, and the rest of your bodies can do the rest of the work in a more smooth and easy way. So I don't know if this makes sense to you.
To me, it makes sense. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so for me, it's really beautiful to combine both. I don't do crystals, but I have two friends here that they do crystals. So I refer them to do this. This week I have the first client to do this, but we have to wait to do SAT because also crystals takes time. Your system needs to like rebalance to permeate what you experience during the crystals, even in a cellular level, takes time. In the energetical realms, is more faster, but the energeticals to really manifest in the physical because of the density takes more time. So we have to wait a few days until we are going to have the SAT session with her. So it's beautiful if you can associate with another person or with another practice will be beautiful. I think that this is so open to do more things, not only SAT, this is open to practice more things with your clients. So you need to be aware of this. That's it for me as a therapist. You need to be aware of that, to talk to your client, to ask how they are feeling, and see if they need more help to deal with the situation that is coming out because of the attunement.
Yeah.
For me, is that.
And can you share like experiences? I know that you have the confidentiality towards your clients, but is there, maybe you can share something personally? Do you have like examples how clients react to the SAT method? How do you see the change?
with one of my clients, it was interesting because she has some cyst in her reproductive system, and she was struggling with this for like a year or so. We did SAT, but like 2 weeks later, she has some situation that she needs to go to the doctor, to the gynecologist. And the surprise was that there are not longer cysts in her system. And we were like, wow. But I'm not saying that this is because of SAT, but I'm not saying that SAT has nothing to do with this also. What happened after the first SAT, a very traumatic experience come out. And we can work on that traumatic experience, and she could integrate completely the traumatic experience. And for me, this result and this combination between NCT and then that we were really attuned to recognize what is coming out and work on time on that she create this powerful healing to herself. And if the energy is flowing in your system, for me, it will be easier to achieve the healing that you are waiting for. So for me, it's a combination of SAT and the other things, but most of all is the person who does the work, because she was aware, she was not afraid to talk about it, to work on that trauma. And she's very powerful. So for me, it's like the formula with all the ingredients happen. And then she has now the results that the cysts are gone. And the doctor was, but how this is possible? Because they were growing, they were not small ones. And it was more than one. So the doctor was like, we need to check, because how could this be possible? So this is an example. Another example with another client, she was struggling because she worked with her dad. And she always felt that she wasn't so powerful because her father was not recognizing her work, or she wasn't feeling like all right to making some decisions. And after SAT, she has a situation in the office, and she says, "You're fired," to a lady that for years were giving her problems. And then she went and talked to her father and says, "Look, I made this decision. She's gone, and another person is gone. And I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not, if you're going to fire me or not, but this is my decision. And this is what I do. And I am hoping that you support my decision." And for the first time, her father says, "Okay, call them." And he says, "You're gone. You're fired." And he trusts more in her, but she says, "I felt so powerful, but I was capable to speak my truth. And I was able to say what I want to say for years, but I never have the courage to do that." And she says that after SAT, she felt more grounded, but also more powerful, like something is happening there. And it's interesting because with her, we have, I think, 5 SATs. And in the last one, you can hear the sound that is more powerful and comes in with this flow. But in the second session, in 3 chakras, she couldn't do the sound. It was interesting, but later moves everything else, and now she's doing all these sounds that sound really, really powerful. So it's amazing, really, to witness what is happening with the people. But most of all is they feel this connection to the earth, like this power that they haven't felt before. But also this connection is like this experience to go up and to be in these realms in bliss they never had before.
Mm.
And in some clarity, they are experiencing clarity, but also gets emotional because sometimes during the session, they feel so much love and joy, but they are not so related with these feelings. So sometimes could be very overwhelmed because your system is not used to feel joy,
Yeah.
or feel love. So they are a bit emotional sometimes, but they feel really good about it, and they want more, like they really, when we are going to have our next sessions. But sometimes, because it takes time, what happens is like they have to cancel the appointment, they can do it, or they got sick, so they need to postpone. But for me, it's just like the sign to the system saying, look, we have to wait a bit more until we have the next session. So it's nothing bad happening. It's like they need more time to adjust to have the next session. So this is in a way a bit of the experience that I have. But I need to mention that in this week, I'm going to have my first client that is a man. I've just been practicing with women. So this week I'm going to start to practice with men. And I think that the experience is going to be different, because another thing that I've been experiencing practicing SAT is that I could feel our collective wound as women. It's a very interesting thing. Like we have thing in common that is not allowing that we express or we connect with our women power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really interesting to feel in the collective field our wounds that we inherit for generations, and how as women we can create this field to heal that wounds together.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to experience in a group with women and see what happened doing it with a group. I don't feel ready yet to do in a group. I need to be more, how to say it, like more attuned doing with one person, and then I want to go with groups and see what happened in a group. So we will see what happened with men and what is the experience with men. So I am just waiting and curious to see what happened also with them, and the experience with them, how it's going to be. So I'm going to share later with you, if you want,
Yes,
what
please.
happened with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's nice. I just want to say that so when a person has like a physical problem, it can be related to a trauma.
sometimes, yes, because this is the somatic experience. We are having, sometimes because we don't have this ability to connect with the experience or with the emotions, who is in charge to try to manifest that something is not good in us is the body.
Mm.
And this can manifest as a illness, or as a pain, or as a flu. But for me, it's like the body is calling for our attention to see what is happening. And unfortunately, we are living in this society where we are dividing our system. It's like the body is one thing, but your eye, you need to have a specialist in your eye. Then the throat. It's like we are a separate being, and we are not. We are emotions, we are feelings, we are energy, we are this physical experience that we call body. So the trauma is happening in all these bodies. It's not only in your physical or in your mental realm, it's happening in every realm. And we need to heal the trauma in all the bodies, in all the realms where it's happening, not just in one experience. That in psychotherapy, we tend to do it only in the mental realm.
Mm.
But for me, after a while, this is going to come out again because we are just taking on a small part of the problem. We are not taking all the experience as a whole. We are just taking just a bit of the experience. So that's why sometimes the body is saying, hey, we are having a problem. Knock, knock, we are having a problem. And sometimes could be just a stomach pain, but this could be a chronic pain if I'm just taking a pill and I am not listening what my stomach is saying through that pain.
Yeah.
So we need to be more aware when our body is telling us something. We need to awake this capacity to listen our body, because our body is telling us when something is not good.
Yeah.
So the trauma is happening in every level, not just in one level. Not that I have a car accident and my arm were broken. No, this accident has an impact in every single layer in me, not just in my arm. You know what I mean? Because all my muscle tense. So it's not only the arm. Then I could have a back pain or a leg pain in years later, and it's related with this event. So yeah, we are this unity, and we need to be aware that we are this unity, and our experience are happening in every single area, not just in one.
It's beautiful, thank you. So
Yeah.
when a client comes to you, can you describe a little bit how the session or the SAT session works? Because when I had this interview with Patrick, he said it will take like 20 minutes. It is laying down. There's resting involved as well. How does it look when you do the
SVT.
SAT? Yeah.
Look, there is a part where you are sit at the beginning with your eyes closed, and the practitioner is doing the thing that needs to do in that moment. And then you're going to ask to the client to stand up. And then you're going to focus on the first chakra, for example, on the first energetical point. And all the attention goes there, and you're going to ask to the system to do or a chant or the sound, because you don't know what is going to be. And you wait, because the person needs to take time to do it. And then you move to the next one, you move to the next one. It doesn't matter if the sound comes at the first time or not. That really, that is not a problem. So if the practitioner or the client is saying, but I'm not doing the sound, there's nothing to worry about. Your system is wise and is going to do it when it's ready. But if you're not doing the sound, doesn't mean that nothing happened on that point. That is not the truth. Something is happening, but you are not able to do the sound. That is the only thing. But maybe next time you're going to have a beautiful, beautiful sound. We don't know, really. And then it's beautiful because you feel involved in the process. You are doing it. It's not another person doing it for you. It's you, your system, feeling it in a different way, and you are doing this attunement to yourself. And that is also a beauty.
Yeah.
And then you do all the work that needs to be done, and then you sit down again. But in that moment is where you are experiencing this bliss state. So you need to take time to experience the bliss and then to come back, if we want to call it in a way. It's like to really be present again in the room with the practitioner, feeling the experience, and having this moment with you, because we don't usually have moments with ourselves.
Yeah.
And for me, this is the beauty also with SAT, that you are really in awareness of yourself, and you are communicating and feeling yourself in a way that you maybe had never been before.
Mm.
That is another beauty that I found in SAT.
Yeah.
With this aspect that you are in this inner connection, in this inner experience. So it's beautiful.
I can imagine that when people are having a big trauma, that when people are getting in touch with themselves, it is very I don't want to say like scary, but maybe like uncomfortable, or it is
Overwhelmed.
it's overwhelmed. Yeah. So when you have clients with trauma and you use SAT, so my question is, do you think that SAT is recommended to every single person, or is it like, or does it depend what kind of treatment or guidance a client will need?
From my perspective and my experience, I will say it's not for everybody. Why? Sometimes, at least in my field, sometimes people is struggling with a major depression or PTSD or obsessive compulsive disorders or some schizophrenia or many things. So they are not so stabilized at that moment. And I will prefer to wait with some of them. With most of them, I don't think that I will do SAT, because this is connecting with things that you need to work with sometimes. And maybe they are not ready for that. So in order to help them, maybe we are going to cause not a damage, because it's not that, but we are going to shake their system. And we don't want to do that because they already have a very shaky system.
Yeah.
So that is not necessary. What I will do with somebody, for example, that has panic attack or anxiety, I will work first to stabilize that, and then I will do SAT. But not before, not if they come to me and says, look, I have this panic attack, let's do SAT. I won't do that. First, I need to stabilize that system. Maybe it took 1, 2, 3 sessions with other method, and then try with them if they are ready. So I will do it. And another exception that maybe I'll do is people that take medicine for a mental disorder or for an imbalance in the brain, in your chemical in the brain. Maybe I won't try it because sometimes inhibits some process in the brain. Or we don't know for how long the person is taking the medicine, so we don't know the after effects of the medicines. And I wouldn't like to take that kind of risk because we don't know. So maybe what my suggestion will be, if you can do some form where you can ask if they are taking pills, if they are having anxiety, panic attacks, or events, recent events that they are causing some uncomfortable movements. So I will wait and see when they are ready, or if they are not ready to do it. I don't know, for example, with somebody with cancer, if they are in a very advanced stage, if I'll do it, I have to try that. I'm not saying no, I just don't know. That will be interesting to see if that is possible or not. But I am just doing the invitation to be a bit aware of this. It's not that the method is something that is going to like a bomb or something in your system. I just want to be precautious.
Yeah.
With some people, and I just recommend to take all the precautions that you need, because they are in our hands. So we need to be very careful with them. That's it. For me, that will be the exceptions, maybe.
Okay.
And let's see, when I have more information, I'm going to share it really gladly to all of you, or maybe another practitioners, the future practitioners, if we can create like a data system where we can share our experience, will be wonderful.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, because
Yeah,
we learn from each other and we all have different kind of experiences.
yeah, exactly. So for me, that will be the exceptions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So when will you then work with somebody who does sacred crystal sound? Because some of the sacred crystal sound practitioners might be interested to do the SAT, but we do not have the psychotherapist background like you. So when we would have, for example, a person with trauma, would you then do the sacred crystal sound treatment first and then do SAT, or do you say like, let me first send this person with trauma to a therapist to get them aligned?
Look, I will do the crystals most of the time. Really, I am an ignorant. If you have some exceptions with crystals, I don't know. Yes, but what I know, what I am experiencing is that this deep relaxation that is happening while you are laying down with the crystals. That is an aspect. I feel that more things are happening. But for me, that I am so into the central nervous system, I could feel that deep relaxation. So it's really good, even if you are having traumatic experience. That is going to help to auto-regulate your system in a way. But then I can also refer to a therapist. If they are experiencing trauma, I will send them with a good psychotherapist. But I need to be informed who is good in my area, or to refer to somebody that has experience dealing with trauma, so you can do crystals during that time, and then you can see where the system is stabilized enough to do the SAT, and then you combine with all this. That for me will be really an amazing job. This is what I've been saving. So I will do crystals, and then I refer to a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist in case they need to take medicine in order to feel better. We need to include that possibility too. It will depend on the client.
Yeah.
If you have doubts, then ask, and I can share also my email if somebody has some doubts or want to ask in some particular case if they need to refer or not. But for me, it's just like being aware what is happening with the person, if they are acting normally, or they are saying that they are having hallucination or things like that. I will say, look, I'm not going to do SAT, I'm going to do crystals, and I need to send you with somebody that is going to help with that has more experience. That is what I will do if I will just a therapist.
Yeah. Oh, super. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that was my last question. I was just curious if there was a difference between men and female experiences, but I think we have to wait for the next interview.
Yes, yes, because I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen, but I feel it's going to be amazing too. And I don't know why I have this feeling that they are going to connect with their feminine energy, with
Mm,
the divine feminine energy, because this is my experience. Is you can feel this feminine energy that is powerful, is soft, but at the same time you can feel that is strong.
yeah.
Um, maybe Patrick could talk a bit more about this, but in my experience, this feminine energy comes really in the process, and
Mm,
it's beautiful to feel it. Then sometimes you can feel this masculine energy in the sounds. So it's beautiful to perceive these things. Maybe some of the practitioners are going to experience a different things because each of us has a particular abilities.
mm,
So maybe you can see, you have the ability to see or to hear or to perceive. I am very visual and very auditive. So for me, I could see things happening. I could see sometimes the energy, how it's moving, or maybe my body is feeling the movement that is happening in the person. But this is my abilities. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. And sometimes just to feel the experience, and that's it, nothing more. So it will depend on the session, but also it will depend on your abilities and your capacities. So you need to trust in what is happening in you. For me,
mm,
it's a key that you are not expecting that is going to happen something that somebody else shares, because you have your uniqueness,
yeah.
and you need to be comfortable, and you be more connected with your own uniqueness and respect that uniqueness, because that's why it's so special, because it's only in you.
Yeah.
And SAT, I think, is giving us this gift as a therapist to explore our uniqueness
Yeah.
in these abilities or capacities.
Super. Yeah, thank you so much for explaining this. Also regarding the masculine and feminine energy, because how I see it. Every single being, like men, women, we both carry the masculine and the feminine energies, but they are not balanced within us. So I understand that
Yeah.
when a man with a lot of masculine energy are not in touch with their feminine energy, it might be something that they have learned to block out, not to listen to it, emotions, crying. No, that's not
Yeah.
what you do as a man. So that is something that,
Yeah. I just want to wait and see what is happening with them, because it will be very, very interesting. But for me, there is another thing: is every single session with every client is unique, open to enjoy, to feel, to receive, to see that unique moment in time. Because there are happening things that are going to happen just that one time.
yeah,
Even you know the person for years is going to be unique. So as a practitioner, please be open to enjoy the experience with every client every single time, because it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be amazing, and really it's a blessing. For me, is a blessing, and I want to say thank you, Patrick. I am really grateful. It's beautiful to have you in my path. Also, Marisa, I want to say them thank you, and also to you, because we are creating this beautiful family with all the knowledge that is coming through Patrick, and he's giving to us in different aspects.
yeah,
But for this, that we are creating this beautiful small family And we are sharing all this experience. And for me, it's special in that he's so willing, and also Marisa, to give us all this knowledge. It's really a blessing, and it's beautiful to have them.
Yeah, it is also a plus side that we are not located in one country or one place. We are all
Exactly.
spread
Exactly.
all over the world, and we can
Yeah.
connect. Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and with different abilities and capacities. So there is so much beauty to experience. Really, I am like, I want to wait and see what is coming with the crystals, with SAT. Maybe there is another things that are coming out. Will be really awesome to experience this through all the practitioners.
Yeah.
I am just waiting and curious to see what is going to unfold with all these practices and with all these practitioners. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be amazing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would like to share? Like what we can pay attention to as a practitioner, but also like from a client point of view, because you have also received the SAT. Is there anything that I have not asked or that you would like to share separately?
For me, will be the openness to receive, the openness to trust in your own system in these parts that are unknown in the system, and also to trust that that the energetical point knows best, and they are doing what they need to do. So if we are control freaks, we can leave it on the door, and we enter with open eyes, open arms, open cells, open everything to explore ourselves, uh, and to experience that we have this system that is wise, that take care of us and do what knows best, and always will be better for us, will be for our higher purpose and benefit. So for me, it's more like the invitation to be open and not to have an idea of what is going to happen in every session. For me, that is the key. As a practitioner, but also as a client, to be like a newborn baby every single session, and experiencing what is coming with every single session. For me, that is key. Not to have anything in your mind, just open to see what happened in every single session. For me, that will be the, my recommendation in a way.
Super. Thank you so much, Karla,
Oh, thank you, Cindy.
for sharing your experiences as a practitioner, but also clients, because it is also, at least it's for me, you know, if a practitioner has the experience to receive a certain method, you know what it is, you know what it can do, and you have this background, this awareness. So that is for me always very nice to know, because you know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I have one rule in my life. I have a few rules, but this is one that is important in my practice. I never going to apply any treatment or any method that I haven't tested me and works for me. I need to be first the client, the patient, with the method. And then I'm going to study that, and then I'm going to give that. But I need to have the experience first.
Yeah.
For me, there is a rule. And works. I really do what I feel best and helping me, so I can give this because I prove it with me. That is my rule. So it's really important to have this experience as a client too.
Mm-mm.
For everything that you do, it's important that you open yourself to expose yourself and to treat yourself with that. So then the way you are giving that is a completely different, because you know how it's to be a client.
Yeah.
So it's more rich what you give.
Yeah. Fantastic. Is there an email address or a website, so when people would like to book a session with you or would like to receive more info?
I can give you my email, and if you want, you can put it in the
underneath the video. I will. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Because it will be easier. So I'm opening here to questions or to comment, and also to hear the experience with the practitioners and also with the clients. And thank you, Cindy. I really enjoy meeting you and having the interview. Thank you for giving me this time.
Oh yes, no worries. It's absolutely my pleasure. I think we can, learn both from this experience. It's for me also very nice to hear from your side how it is to use this method as a psychotherapist and how you practice with this, because you are for us like, you're the first person for us. That can give us the experience, and you can teach us at the same time what we need to pay attention to. So it's very helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, and we have to wait and see what else is coming, because I am also new in this, so there is a lot to discover. I feel so.
Yeah, the world is open. The world is open.
Yeah. So this is unfolding. So we will see what else is coming with SAT and the crystals. Really, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm just like, I'm waiting.
I'm ready.
Yes. And be open. Just be open to have the experience. That's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank you all listeners for watching and listening to our interview. If you have any questions for Karla, you can either mention it underneath the video, or you can, I hope it is okay when they send you an email too. And if you have any comments or questions, just let us know, because then we can do another video and maybe we can talk about it a little bit more and share the experiences and with a broader community. Yeah. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Karla, and see you then. Speak to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.